going on? Of course, to all of my bookish freaks out there, I am your host, Amira Blaze, and welcome back, guys, to another brand spanking fabulous episode of Book Shade. I know, guys, it's been a really long time, but I got a lot of explaining to do. Okay, so first off, guys, I've actually had to change my schedule for the show. So Book Shade is going to be just on Wednesdays and Sundays, and the reason for that, guys, to be honest, it's just because of my job, and we're getting to this part of the year where it's like the holiday season and it is just complete craziness, and my hours are going to get longer and longer and longer, and I want to make sure that I'm bringing you, my full octane high energy self. And the only way that I can do that, guys, is by updating the show twice a week, and I'll be doing that for my other show as well, which is called the Curvy Metalhead Show. But guys, we're not gonna waste any time here, guys, because today's episode has been a long one in the making. And guys, let me tell you, I don't even know where to start, because this book is flawless, it's fabulous, and if you are into the heat, honey, if you like that heat, you like that smoke, okay, when it comes to the romance books, you will definitely enjoy today's review. And this is what we're going to be reviewing. But before we get to this, guys, it's been a long day, guys. All right. So, of course, guys, I have my show email here, so you can, of course, contact me. So this is the email that, for the show that I use for both the Curvy Metalhead Show and Book Shade, and it is at curvymetalshownews@gmail.com. So you can contact me, let me know what your favorite books are, darling. Okay, let me know what you think about today's review. But guys, we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get to it, okay? This book is fabulous. So what we're gonna be reviewing today, guys, is once again the legendary, C.M. Albert's Mr. Stand-In. Okay, I don't even have to talk about this book, right, guys? Because look how fine this man is. Okay, let's have a moment of silence for how sexy this man is. Okay. All right, so this is all the inspiration that I need, but all of my jokes and messiness aside, guys, this is the recent release coming once again from C.M. Albert, who, to me, guys, she writes the romance books for the everyday woman, okay, for the home girl, okay? So if you want that heat, you want that steam, this book is definitely it, okay? You thought that Consumed by Love was steamy? Oh, no. CM took this book, y'all, to a whole new level. And this is my favorite segment that I like doing on Book Shade, where I'm going to call this the ultimate book kiki, okay? This is where I do a book review, and I also do commentary on it, and I give you the book receipts. Plus, I also put together an inspired soundtrack based on the book too, guys. And I have that linked below today's episode, so you can listen along while you're reading this juicy read, okay? So Mr. Stand-In, guys, once again by C.M. Albert, is part of this series that is called the Cocky Heroes Club, or the Cocky Hero Club series, okay? And there are many other authors too that write in this series, guys, and it is fabulous, okay? So what the Cocky Hero Club book series is inspired by these standalone books, okay, that were inspired by V. Keelan, and of course, in the romance book world as well, both of them are legendary, but also Penelope Ward, okay? And there was this book that was called Mr. Moneybags, okay? So that's what this particular book series is like inspired by. And the cool thing, guys, that I like about this particular book, Mr. Stand-In, it is a standalone, and a lot of the books in this Cocky Hero Club book series, they are standalones as well, so you can just read them and you just, you know, you be on that treadmill, darling, you be having your fantasies and you can call it a day, okay? So that's what I really love about this particular series, and I am gonna read other books by different authors within this series, okay? So the best way, guys, that I can describe Mr. Stand-In is you take Sex in the City, you take Wedding Crashers, Days of Our Lives, with a little bit of flavor with Dallas, because, you know, this book, it very well, you know, it kind of dives both into the modernism of New York City with the mixture of the South kind of blended in there, which I appreciate. So, you know, you got that flavor of Dynasty, of Dallas, and just the campiness, okay, of Presley, as Presley is one of the main protagonists in the story. Very Daria like vibes I got, okay? Very, very Daria. So let's get into the cast of characters, okay? So these are some of the main characters that are within Mr. Stand-In that, no pun intended, but they really stood out to me, okay? So first, the sexy man you see here, okay, is Carter, okay? And let me tell you guys, Carter is the total package. Not only is he adorable though, but remember, guys, I told you, usually I am not into like the guys that are kind of like cocky and the whole alpha male, because the tropes within this book is you have like semi alpha male going on. You also have semi, I would say, friends to, you know, enemies to like lovers in a way. And I would say another trope that Mr. Stand-In has as well is military, because Carter is ex-military. So for those of you who like the military older daddies, this would be for you, darling, okay? But Carter, what his job is he's what's called a personal stand-in, okay? And guys, this is an actual job, okay? So what some people do is they act as like pretty much like arm candy for the rich and famous. So or sometimes they, you know, let's say in this case within the story, Carter comes to see Lauren, okay? And Lauren and well, first off, Carter had a crush on Lauren being an older woman, okay? So another trope is some age gap too. So if you like the age gap, this is the book for you, darling, okay? So what ends up happening is Carter comes and acts as a stand-in because him and Lauren, you know, they were cool back in the day, they were friends and everything, and Carter has always like had the thing, okay, for Lauren, but he never like, of course, like really acted on it. So he has this job now being the stand-in, and you know, and he's a nice guy, okay, because Lauren did not want to go to their rehearsal, wedding, and dinner by herself. So, you know, she hires Carter, and you know, he does it also too as like a favor to help her out, because you know, who wants to be alone at their own wedding, you know, rehearsal and like dinner and stuff, okay? So while they're there and they're kikiing, talking and all that good stuff, okay, then in the corner of his eye he ends up seeing Presley, okay? And I'll backtrack. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit here, okay? So that's Carter. Carter, you know, he's very secure in himself, and another trope too, rags to riches, because you know, he had a little bit of a hard luck, you know, life and everything. But then Presley, you know, comes from the world of the rich and famous. You know, she got that bag, but she's still a very humble person like Carter. So I'm sorry, Pierce, you have been, like, Pierce is from, of course, Consumed by Love, but Pierce, I'm sorry, you have been replaced by Carter. Carter is my new book boyfriend, guys. He is not only sweet, he's really confident too. He's really secure in himself. He understands the foundations that he has had to hustle, you know, to do this personal stand-in business, you know. And a lot of times people kind of misconstrue his, you know, his business, you know. So, and throughout the book, you know, he never wanted his business because, you know, when a man looks as fine and lickable as Carter here, you know, it can be implied that he's a male prostitute, which is what, you know, that's not what he does. Okay, he's just a stand-in to, you know, help those that, you know, maybe were bullied and they need, you know, to have someone be there for them. Or, and there's actually, guys, an example in the book where he's a stand-in for a woman who's, oh my gosh, guys, the ex, like her ex-husband was a complete trash bag, like absolute trash. I'm not gonna spoil it for you because you gotta read it, guys, because this book is the tea. It is so juicy, okay? But let's get back into it here, because I know I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so that's Carter. You know, he once he graduated from college, he ended up getting into the military, and once he left the military, that's how he started this personal stand-in business. Okay, so then you have Richard Wright, which is Carter's father, and throughout the book you learn more about him and like his job. He ended up kind of being like it's very similar to like being like I would say like a property manager in the way of this really nice resort in this place that is called the Grove. Okay, so the Grove, guys, it's a small island that's off the coast of South Carolina, and this is where, you know, Carter's roots are from. This is how Carter and Presley actually interact and meet with each other, but we'll get back to that. 'Cause I like how CM kind of introduces them, you know, as like building into a couple. It's fabulous. Okay, so then you have Dex Truitt. Dex Truitt is the friend to Carter, and he also works for this business that's called Montague Enterprises. Okay, and then you have Bianca, who is Dex's wife. And then in the book, guys, ooh, I love this tie-in. You'll find out how Bianca and Dex got together. It's really ironic. It's really ironic. I won't spoil that. Then you have Richard Brash. Okay, so Richard Brash is actually the soon-to-be husband to Lauren. Okay, and guys, there is a 20-year age difference between Lauren Kincaid, who is Presley's stepmother, and you find out, guys, like why that, you know, occurred, you know, why Presley is in that situation that she's in. Okay, so Lauren and Richard, who is the CFO of Montague Enterprises, so, you know, he's loaded. Okay, and Lauren Kincaid, she got that money too, but, you know, Lauren really loves Richard, and I love okay, so what I did too, guys, was while I was reading it, I actually was listening to the audiobook, which I highly recommend. Guys, please go and support CM and buy that audiobook, because I am telling you guys, both of those voice actors were pure orgasmic, like just perfection, like orgasmic perfection to my ears. Okay, especially the voice actor that does the voice of Carter. Oh my gosh, it is everything, y'all. So make it your business, you know, go buy that audio book. You will not be disappointed. It is everything. Okay, but getting back into it here. Okay, so then there's John, and John is Lauren's first husband, and you will find out what happened to Lauren's first husband and why she's getting remarried and everything like that. Then you have Presley, okay, and Presley, I love her, okay? She is a strong, confident, independent woman. She don't need no man. She is handling her business, okay? And she is a journalist at the Finance Times, okay? Now, once again, Lauren, or Presley, is Lauren's stepdaughter, so you'll find out you know, because here's the thing, guys, I can't explain everything because it spoils some parts of the story later on. And the thing about CM's books that I love is everything is interconnected, but there's always some type of plot twist with the interconnectedness. So if I explain one thing, technically in a way, it can spoil other parts of the story. And guys, this book is too damn good for me to spoil it for y'all. Okay, so this is kind of like a semi review. Okay, but let's get back into it. And then finally, guys, another important character of the cast of characters, which, guys, I swear I want for her to have her own separate book. Like, I would live for this, is Willa. Okay, Willa, she is the sassy, like, soul sister realness, and she is Presley's best friend. Okay, you do learn briefly how they became best friends and everything, but she is everything. She does not give two fucks. Like, she gives, like Willa, guys, really reminds me of myself, because there are moments where Presley is really fucking up. Okay, like, she's like really fucking up, and Willa is the one to kind of bring her back to center, especially in regards to Carter. And in the book receipts, guys, I'll talk about that a little bit further. Okay, so those are all the characters. So what did I think about this book, guys? From start to finish, Mr. Stand In. Okay, I want to stand in, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, from the beginning, guys, all right, just the way that they met was so ironic, because what ends up happening, because remember, I told you that Carter was, you know, coming to help out Lauren. You know, they were friends, you know, back in the day. And here's the cool thing, like I said, about CM's books. So the thing is, guys, back in the day, even though Carter knew Lauren, he also knew Presley. Okay, but Presley was much younger than him. Okay, so he did not have time for her, because, you know, she was so enthralled. And so you find out more details about the infatuation, the crush that she had on Carter, but like Carter was like, skirt, I don't got time, you know, because he had so much other stuff, guys, going on, that he just did not want to go there. Okay, which is understandable. Like, when you read the book, you'll understand why. Okay, so then when they're at this rehearsal dinner and the wedding, you know, the practice of the run, he just notices this beautiful young woman. I mean, she is snatched for the gods. Okay, she looking good, you know what I mean? And he like takes a double take, like, and then he comes to find out, okay, that the young lady that was always wanting to hang around him and, you know, be crushing on him super hard is actually Presley. So he's like, because he was looking at her, he was checking her out and everything, and then she was kind of looking at him like, okay. But he comes to find out, he's like, wait a minute, is that Presley? Like, ooh, like, she is snatched for the gods. I want a piece of this. Okay, so then eventually the dinner ends, and she checks him, which I love. You know, that's the thing I always love about CM's like female protagonists, is that, you know, they'll check a man, you know what I mean? Like, they could be shy or awkward, but they still will check if you're not coming correct. Okay, so then fast forward a little bit. So Willa is with her, they get in the elevator, you know, they're just going back and forth with just really campy like banter. But, you know, I gotta say though that Carter had the upper hand. Like, he had the upper hand. And then they get out of the elevator, and then he kind of does, guys do this, some like guys are really confident, you know, and secure, and they really like a lady. So he like tries to block her in a way that so that she could like brush up against him a little bit, and then she started blushing because she couldn't believe like how sexy, you know, he became. Because, you know, guys, it's been a couple of years since they had their conversation, and then he ends up, you know, going off to college and then going into the military. So this is like years later. So one thing about the book, guys, is the book goes from like modern day, then later on it kind of goes a little bit back in the day, but then it goes back into the modern day, which I really appreciate. It's like time travel orgasms. Like I just live, like I live for it. Okay, so then they have this like awkward, you know, kind of awkward exchange, but he is really feeling her. And then what ends up happening is her boss, okay, which is I forgot her name now, but we'll just say her boss. So her boss asks her like, oh hey, like you know, I'm sorry, but Carter, you know, right, I mean, he's really successful. He's about to like turn 30 and they want to like write this article about him and his business and everything. But Carter is really like private about, you know, his business, which is understandable because he's a very wholesome guy, you know, but he kind of makes a assumption about Presley, okay, thinking that, you know, because of the situation that kind of happened with her, she was able to obtain all this money. She became a journalist. She's got multiple, you know, degrees. I mean, well accomplished. So he thinks that she's kind of like a snotty brat, but little does he know that she's actually a very humble person. And sometimes, guys, she's overwhelmed with having, you know, all of this, all of this money and everything like that. But will Carter and Presley, will they get together, or are they gonna go their separate ways? You're gonna have to read the book, my friends, to find out what happens, okay? But let's get into the book receipts, y'all, because let me tell you guys, CM, like, she writes some, like, if you like Jade West, right? Because you know Jade West, if you're familiar with her work, she writes these muy caliente, like steamy hot sex scenes, because they do, they do get together, like, and it's very insta love too. Like, I mean, he gets in her pants like real quick, okay, but she don't even care. She's just like, man, this man is so sexy, I gotta get it popping, you know what I mean? So here's one of my like favorite scenes that are, you know, through the book here. No spoilers, but I have to, as a disclaimer, if you're very prudish, you may want to not, you know, check out today's episode, because these sex scenes be getting very juicy, okay? Let me put it that way, okay? But yeah, like, CM know how to write the sex scenes, guys. The sex scenes be off the chain. Like, guys, there was one that I read that I had to pause and go do a couple laps because I was that hot and bothered. So if you really like that dirty sex scene, like make you, woo, you know, all up in your spirit, okay, then you will appreciate this book. And guys, the plot twist that happens at the end, mind blown. I'm not even gonna tell you, because you gotta read this, y'all, because it's so good. You know, you got the sex in there, that's good. You know, you got some action, some suspense, and then you have this weird mystery. I'll put it that way, a weird mystery of how, you know, they're all kind of, you know, how everything kind of connects. And she does a great job of executing, you know, explaining the situation and then like bringing it together in the end. And guys, the plot twist will blow your motherfucking mind. Like, when I finished this, guys, I was reading this book until like 4 in the morning, and I was just all in my feelings when I had to put it down. I was just like, I wanna find out what happens next, because it's that good, y'all. No bullshit here, but it is that good, okay? But let me read a small snippet, some book receipts of my favorite part, okay? So these are one of the various juicy sex scenes. This one, I picked the tamest one because I really want for you guys to read this book. When you read it, you'll be like, oh, especially for the ladies, like, oh, I wish a man would do this to me. Okay, and for the fellas, I highly recommend this book too, for men to read as well, because this shows you guys like how you supposed to treat a lady, okay, with like respect and just you know. Ooh, okay, let's get into it here. Okay, so so this is one of the juicy scenes. This was like the tamest one. Okay, so I'm gonna read it now. So it says here, okay, it's because I went to bed with the smell of your pussy on my face, and all I dreamed about was getting my tongue back on you. Presley moaned, her head falling back as she rode the sensation of my busy fingers. And it's because no one has ever felt so fucking amazing wrapped around my cock before. No one, I said. I bent over, pulling Presley's legs over my shoulder. And that fucking scares me, P, because I can't stop going back for more. Let that sink in, okay? I mean, I'm blushing on the inside just reading this, okay? It's that juicy. It is that juicy, y'all. That juicy, y'all. That juicy. Okay, this is like the tamest one that I could read. Like the tamest. I didn't want to spoil some of the, like some of the, just the way, guys, that she writes the sex scenes is like you can just like close your eyes and just imagine all of that kinkiness happening. It's everything. Like, it is everything, darling, and more, okay? And just the way that, like, Carter he just wants to make sure, because this is why I tell men all the time, you know, when it comes to, like, sexuality, and especially women's sexuality, is that if you are sincere about your passion, about your desire, that like turns us up, you know, turns us on even more, you know, that appreciation of not being ashamed, you know, of my body, and if I have any flaws, you find that sexy, you know. And he like just takes his time, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, it is everything, guys. It is everything. Okay, so some other favorite scenes that I enjoyed here. Okay, so this is my favorite part. So this is okay, so the book, guys, in regards to tense perspective, it goes from Carter's perspective and it'll go back into Presley's perspective. So those are the two main perspectives that that's happening throughout the book. Okay, so this is from chapter 18. Okay, I just like this part. This is Presley. So, the day flew by so fast, I could hardly believe it. Shower sex led to kitchen sex, which led to library sex, before we finally had a late lunch, early dinner. Carter drove me home so I could grab my laptop, shower alone, and pack an overnight bag, and add more food to the jar's automatic feeder. He nearly choked on his coffee that we stopped and grabbed on the way over when I told him my cat's name. Okay, because in the book too, guys, he's so sweet. Like, he also, you know, helps out at like the animal shelter, like walking dogs and stuff like that. And yeah, it's super, yeah, it's super funny. Like, he's super cute. He's just like my like total package, guys. Okay, total package. Now, don't get me wrong, Carter, he does have his flaws, and Presley does as well, you know, but that's what, like, I can see why they're coming together, because, you know, each one of their strengths and weaknesses, they really complement each other, like, as a couple, you know. But I just like that part where she has this like checklist of all like the dirty you know, things that she wants to do and stuff, and he's just like, and the thing I also love, guys, is he calls he calls Presley her princess, you know. So he's like, hey, whatever you want, princess. Okay, let me check this off. Let's check this off. Let's do it here. Let's do it there. Hey. I would love that. I would love to just have this list, you know, and just be like, okay, all right, so what's next, you know? But yeah, it's super, yeah, it's super good. And just, you know, just the way he treats her, you know, because here's the other thing, guys, about Presley too. She is a virgin, you know, so I do have to give a disclaimer on that. If you're not, you know, comfortable with that type of you know, that type of like material, then, you know, this book may not be for you. But I love the way that CM, like, you know, treats her first time being with Carter, and it's so respectful, it's so tasteful, it's so classy, it's everything, y'all. It's everything. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, so what other book receipts that I have here? Because I mean, I'm really trying to just read the ones that that won't spoil it. Okay, so this is what I mean. Another one, guys. Ooh, oh hey, we have Karen. Hey, what's up, Karen? Welcome to the program. And Karen says, hot steaks, a steamy single dad romance by Mia Madison. Okay. Hey, I love me those single dads. Shout outs to the sexy single dads, man. Guys, let me tell you, you know how many hot single dads are on like the on a TikTok? Just so hot. Like, the dad bod is making a comeback, y'all. The dad bods are making a comeback. They're making a comeback. So yeah, I'll have to read that. So shout out to the single dads. Like, you know, we love you here on Bookshade. We appreciate you. Okay, so welcome to the program. Glad that you decided to check out this crazy show. But guys, here's one of my other favorite scenes. Y'all, this is like my favorite. Okay, I think this is absolutely sexy. This is so fucking like, whew. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I thought this was fun. Okay, so I'll go back. All right, I reclined until my back was flat. My nipples were rock hard, standing up straight from the cool, teasing sensation of the glass beneath me. He finally stood up and walked around the table, looking down at me. Do you do this often, or do you do this with women often, Carter? I asked, flushing at being so open and vulnerable with him. Never, he whispered, reverently, as he openly worshipped every inch of my body with his eyes. You seem to bring out the beast in me, Presley. I shivered against the glass and I can't even talk, y'all. You know, I'm a mess. Okay. I shivered against the glass in anticipation. Touch yourself like you said you would. And this is the best part. But we never played that game, Carter. I said I would if I lost. We're past that now, aren't we, P? Now touch yourself. Show me how you like it. Oh my gosh. Like everything, guys. Like this, like I'm getting, like I'm blushing on the inside reading this to y'all. Like, do you see why I love this book? And it's not only, guys, the steamy stuff. It's like the fact that she's like a journalist. She's well educated. You know, I love Willa, and Willa is just like, okay, do you see how sexy Carter is? You better get your life. You better get some. Yeah, you know. Like, I love Willa, man. Like, Willa reminds me a lot of like Samantha from Sex and the City, where she's like, you better get your life. Okay, get your life. Okay, you see how sexy this man is? Okay, I would have a whole like encyclopedia of things that I would like to do to him. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, but let's continue here, guys. So I have one more scene that I really yeah. This is like okay. All right, so that one I won't do because I think it'll spoil the book here. Okay. Let's see, there was one more here. Let me find it here. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so this is one of my other favorite scenes, guys. So this is when you know, this was after, you know, she and, you know, Carter, they, you know, pretty much did it everywhere, okay? And usually, you know what I mean, ladies, okay? When you have, or, you know, if you have a partner or whatever, you know, when you meet that person that just makes you like, just, you be feeling hot and bothered, like everything is good, you know what I mean? Like everything is good. So it just makes you, you know, it makes you want to, you know, you feel sexy, you know, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go get some lingerie or whatever. So I love this. Okay, so define sexy. I'll take that as a no. Come on, girl, we going shopping and I know just the place. 2 hours and $2,000 later, I had a sexy number for every night of our trip, you know, just in case. I also brought a few matching bra and panty sets because my old granite panties just wouldn't cut it if I wanted to keep having sex. Me having sex? I love that part. Because every woman got some granite panties, okay? And every woman got that friend that like be throwing some, you know, well, not throwing shade, but they be letting you know. They be like, honey, I think you need, I mean, do you see how sexy this daddy is? You need to upgrade your underwear, girl. Come on now. All right. So maybe I'm Willow, right? No, like this book, guys, it is fantastic from start to finish, guys. This book takes you on a wild roller coaster ride. There are so many twists and turns. The sex scenes will have, like, literally, guys, there were moments I had to put it down and lift some weights like 50 Cent, okay? I had steam coming out of my ears. I was like, in a good way, guys. This book just makes me like just so happy, guys. And when I read this, you know, like, you know, you guys know, you know, my struggles with relationships and love and everything, and that's why I love reading, no pun intended, the romance genre, because it just makes you feel like positivity and love again. You feel refreshed, you feel invigorated, and that's what Mr. Stand-In did for me. Okay, it's not only the hot, like the hot and steaminess, and it's a good steamy read, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, but there's more to this book than that. It's actually well fleshed out. It's interwoven in the story. And also, guys, this book not only, you know, to me made me believe in love again, but Mr. Stand-In really taught me a very valuable lesson of sometimes when you suffer, you know, you've been through a lot, you learn a lot more about Carter and how, you know, a man this fine, you know, and you know, has a good heart, he could barely make friends and stuff. And on the outside, you know, Presley thinks like, oh man, he's Mr. Popular, he's Mr. Arrogant, oh, it's, you know, it's so fucking easy for him, you know. But it's not. And both him and Presley have a lot of demons that you'll learn throughout reading this book that they've had to face to be the people that they are today, guys. So if you're looking for a wild roller coaster ride, and it's romance, it's action, you know, it's got a great mystery in there as well, you will love Mr. Stand-In by C.M. Albert. I recommend, guys, all of her books. They're just fabulous, you know, and they're all different like stories and everything. And yeah, I love this Cocky Heroes series. I'm definitely gonna read some of the other authors, and they have a fabulous website for it too, guys, which I'll link below. And the website has everything you will ever need, you know, in regards to, you know, their books. They even show the new releases. And guys, highly recommend too, I joined their Facebook group. They actually have a Cocky Heroes Facebook group too, and like it's super cool. Like, this is why I love the romance genre, guys, because the like romance authors, they're like so they have such a good deep, you know, connection with their fans, you know, and they like love, you know, they love that we love reading their books. And guys, let me tell you, CM is one of, like, to me, like, her writing is such a blessed talent. It's like she's so naturally gifted, guys. Like the way she writes, it's like Shakespeare in motion. It's very, you know, the way that she writes about love, it's very poetic, it's very moving. It like I said, guys, look, for half of my life I really didn't believe in love, you know, because I was treated like garbage, you know, like the guys that I would like, they would never give me time of day. So I understood just like how Presley felt like. But you know, reading this story, it really helped me, like I said, to believe in love again, to know that there's someone out there that will love my crazy behind, you know, and just, you know, love me for being my natural, authentic self. Because throughout the book, guys, Carter does that for Presley. Like, he loves everything about her, the way she moves, the way her body sways when he's like, you know, getting it, you know what I mean? And even those moments when they're having an intellectual conversation, he is just enthralled by her, but it's not in that very stereotypical generic kind of way. And guys, like I said, usually I'm not into like the semi kind of alpha guys, but it's just the way CM writes Carter that it's wonderful. Like, it's really wonderful. And his confidence is not, you learn throughout the book that his confidence is not arrogance, it's him trying to protect, you know, people who have been bullied, or, you know, people who have gone through some stuff, you know. So you know, this also, guys, taught me a lot about the alpha kind of subgenre in the romance genre, because a lot of times, like, when I think of like alpha, it's usually like these really asshole kind of guys that are like, you know, yeah, I look good, you know, like that kind of attitude. But Carter is not like that. Like, he look good, okay? I'm just saying, okay, this is all the inspiration I need to get through my day, okay? I lost, like, look, I'm looking at him right now, and I'm like, I think I lost 3 dress sizes. But, okay, all my messiness aside, I give Mr. Stand-In by CM Albert, guys, the rating of masterpiece. You know, it's just, this is how you write a standalone romance book, and it has all the components. The steamy, you know, the steamy sex scenes are in there. All of the characters are really fleshed out and well developed. They all have interesting backstories, you know. And guys, this book you will not be able to put down. That is just how good it is. And guys, if you go check out the ratings, you know, on Goodreads and stuff, I'm not the only one, okay? Like, she really knows, you know, how to write, you know, really well. So if you like Penelope, you know, Penelope Ward, you know, if you like V. Keelan, if you like Jade West, you know, authors like that, you will definitely appreciate her stuff. Guys, like I said, I read Consumed by Love, and I was like, I am in love with this woman's books. Like, you know, she is so fabulous, super nice, guys, and like just gorgeous inside out. Like, I really appreciate her work, and I will continue to review her books on this program, continue, you know, really supporting the romance genre, especially independent authors, guys, because it's really not, it's not easy, you know, to be an independent romance, you know, book author, or even mainstream as well, you know. But oh man, this book is savage, y'all. So please check it out. Once again, Mr. Stand-In by CM Albert. You can, if you have, guys, I'm telling you, KU, y'all, Kindle Unlimited. If you have that, you can download it and read it right now, okay? You will not be disappointed. Trust and believe. Trust, okay? And then also, guys, you can get as part of Audible Plus, if you have that subscription, you can also download the audio book of this, which I highly recommend. Both of the voice narrators, guys, they are fabulous. Like, fabulous, okay? I'm drooling. Just I'm like, in my mind, like, you know, I'm hearing, you know, their voices, and it's heaven. But yeah, definitely check it out, y'all. Let me know if you read this. Please let me know what you think, because this book is the bomb. It is the business. All right, so moving from that, my friends, So if you're reading Mr. Stand-In by CM Albert, what type of music should you listen to? So I put together, guys, like, so she also has her recommendation soundtrack, which I highly recommend. It's perfect, okay? But what I always like to do too is I like to make like an inspired soundtrack. I was just like, you know, thinking about the story and everything, and I was like, yeah, let me put together an inspired playlist, like a soundtrack to this. So I will have the link below and you can listen to it, guys. It's popping. Okay, I got some LL Cool J up in there. Okay, I got some A. Marie. I got some Paula Cole, Sarah McLachlan, like everything. Okay, I even got some Fiona Apple in there. So it's a mix of, you know, 90s, early 2000s, you know, some pop, some, you know, 80s hip hop in there, because that's like the flavor that I was thinking about this book. You know, it's sexy, it's sassy, you know, you got the Southern flavor with the modern, you know, New York vibes, you know, because of the settings and everything. So what music should you listen to? Okay, so here are my recommendations. Okay, so first off, guys, we got A. Marie. Okay, A. Marie. Okay, so remember, guys, Beyonce, right? And you know, when Beyonce came out with B-Day and that whole big band, like brassy kind of sound that people, you know, till this day like live for. Well, while Beyonce was doing that, A. Marie also was heavily involved in that sound. Okay, A. Marie, she is a I think she's half black, half Korean, and I love her. She's very underrated, guys, especially her sound. It's a blend of funk and soul and pop and dance and electronica. Like she's, if you like Khalees, you know what I mean? How like she's experimental with her music, you will love A. Marie. This is probably one of her most underrated releases. Like everybody knows her debut. Like I would highly recommend the song "Why Don't We Fall in Love." Talking to Me, which I did put on the playlist, because there are many moments in the book where Presley, she's really kind of contemplating her instant love infatuation with Carter, you know, because Carter did her dirty. Okay, you'll find out. I mean, it's very understandable why, but he really like, you know, burned her a little bit. So those songs kind of play around with that like infatuation of love, and you know, when you finally have someone that you really feel in, that's what A. Marie likes to write. She likes to write these songs about, you know, heartache and infatuation and all that. But this album, guys, highly underrated. It's really good. This came around the same time Beyonce, B-Day, all that kind of stuff was going on, and this was an interesting time, especially in R&B and hip-hop, because you had this weird hybrid of like dance and R&B music, but with like that New Orleans kind of big band like brassy sound. And what really sucked is the reason why, and this is just me, the reason why A. Marie did not blow up to the full potential of the superstar that I really feel she rightfully should have had is because, and let's just keep it real, it was just due to the fact that I feel personally she kept getting compared to Beyonce way too much. And to be honest, A. Marie is a completely different artist from Beyonce, but when you have two women of color that have, you know, similar styles, but they're still different, it's very easy for music critics and sometimes the music industry to be like, okay, let's put them head to head. So because of that, people really, you know, because, you know, Beyonce, of course, is like the queen of R&B, okay? So, you know, because people put her on a very high pedestal, and when people started kind of comparing A. Marie to Beyonce, in my opinion, it caused A. Marie's career to die. Like, I hate to say that, but like people really started dragging her, and you know, people were just, they really shitted on her. And actually, guys, another fact about A. Marie you may not know is she's actually a semi booktuber as well. And she's an author, and she's actually really good at what she does. She has an active YouTube channel and stuff, so yeah, definitely go check her out. But the songs I would recommend off of this album, In Love and War, Why Are You, and she also has a duet with Fabulous, and it's called, I always forget the name of it, More Than Love. Yeah, there we go, More Than Love. And that song really like resonated with me when I was reading the book, because it's talking about how, you know, on a surface a relationship is really good, but sometimes when you're too busy, you got a lot of shit going on, it can cause this dissolvement in the relationship. And that's how sometimes Presley thinks in her mind. She's really second guessing that Carter is really into her. Like, she's like, wait a minute, why would a man so accomplished and well put together, be interested in me? You know, I'm a loser. Pardon me here, guys. I gotta drink some tea here. I have allergies really bad, so like my throat gets croaked up. And oh, of course, I forgot to say hi here. Sorry, Yak. And Yak says, why don't we fall in love? And I agree. And sipping that tea. That's true. But yeah, guys, I highly recommend A. Marie's In Love and War. Yeah, fabulous album. And yeah, definitely it resonated with me when I was thinking, you know, about Presley and how she was second guessing herself, because that's what this album represents, is this idea of like second guessing certain aspects of your relationship and stuff. It's really good. And she has some new music that came out not too long ago, but yeah, I highly recommend this album. All right, next we have Oh Baby, because you know Robin Thicke. Now, I love me some Robin Thicke though. Now, Robin Thicke to me reminds me of Carter so much, because Robin Thicke has that cockiness, you know, in his personality, even in the way that he sings. Like, he knows he's sexy. He knows he can get the ladies, you know. Carter is not like arrogant like that, but they have a lot of similarities with certain aspects of their personality. But this is and one of his this album is not as popular as Blurred Lines, but this is what got people really like interested in him, besides the song he did with Pharrell called Wanna Love You Girl, Wanna Love You Girl, Wanna Love You Girl, When You Love You. Okay, I love it. Okay, I love it. Yeah, I love me some Robin Thicke. And All Tied Up. Yep, you right, Yak. But this is Love After War. And that's what it's about, guys. It's this battle. You know, like sometimes in a relationship, you got good moments, and then you have moments where there's tension. And throughout, guys, the book, you know, Mr. Stand-In, there are moments where, you know, Presley and Carter, they have a little bit of a spat, you know, and there's a lot of misdirection because of that, you know, and it causes a separation, you know, between them. And that's what this album represents. So like, I thought about the songs on here like Mission, and of course the main track here, Love After War. But yeah, I mean, even in the song, he talks about, you know, how, you know, the woman that he loves is a knockout, and, you know, we can fight, but we still gonna get back into it and make some sweet love. Okay, that's why I love Robin Thicke. He always comes back to the love, you know what I mean? But yeah, there are moments where the book kind of goes through that type of turmoil. So yeah, I highly recommend this album. I like this album better than Blurred Lines, because Blurred Lines is too commercial to me, in my opinion. And Robin Thicke, his real, like, where he really shines is when he does non-commercial songs. You know, like he has a song that's called The Sweetest Love, you know, so I would recommend that too. He just knows how to write songs for the ladies. And I'm not gonna lie, because Robin Thicke, he is a white guy. Black women love this man. Women in general they just love him because he knows how to write songs that like really talk to the ladies, you know, and really like respect the lady and everything. That's why I was really sad that it didn't work out between him and Paula Patton, but that's a whole let me drink some of this tea here because I'm being a messy queen. That's a whole different situation there, guys. But yeah, highly recommend. Great album, very sexy. It's a good time. Oh, and Yak says I'm a big fan of deep cuts. Yeah, like I like that type of stuff, you know. I like remixes too of songs and things like that. But yeah, Robin Thicke is the man. He is. Sometimes his personality can be a little bit extra, but all right. So this is probably, to a lot of music critics and some of the fans of Christina Aguilera, probably one of Christina Aguilera's most problematic albums. Okay, I did some research on this album. This is the album called Strip. Now, there was a couple of reasons why people had problems with this album. Let's keep it real. Number one, this is when Christina Aguilera was, no pun intended, stripping her very goody two-shoes kind of persona that she had during her debut album, which I still love. Okay, Genie in the Bottle, I could sing karaoke to that all day. Okay, and I'm pretty good, in case you guys may not know. I'm pretty decent. No. But this is probably one of my favorite Christina Aguilera albums for a couple of reasons. Okay, number one, she really explored not only her femininity and her sexuality. Now, I won't lie, when Stripped came out, she was going through some stuff. Okay, I mean, she was losing a lot of weight, you know. She was looking kind of, you know, not too good like her normal self, but you know, that's a whole different episode to talk about. But overall, guys, Stripped is a great album. It actually is. Because of a couple of reasons. Number one, this is probably one of Christina Aguilera's most vulnerable albums. It's an album that has topics such as female empowerment, being confident with your sexuality, you know, LGBTQIA plus topics as well. Like, she has a song, just like what Yak was saying, Beautiful, and Fighter, and, you know, Can't Hold Us Down. But one of the other tracks that I recommend off of this album that a lot of people don't talk about is Loving Me for Me. And I was thinking about that with Presley, because Presley just, sometimes she second guesses herself. As beautiful she is, you know, confident as she is, Carter wants to like hold it down for her. She still second guess herself. And then there are many moments too where, I'm not gonna lie, to be fair, Carter also second guesses, you know, Presley. But that's like early on in the book, you know, but then he changes his mind afterwards. But yeah, this is a great album that reflects Mr. Stand-In. It really does. But I would say more from the female perspective. But the song Beautiful too, it hit record. But yeah, it's just allowing yourself to peel down your layers of vulnerability. Like I said, Presley, guys, she goes through a very traumatic situation that, you know, she's explaining to Carter about that. And she just, like, he gets so pissed about it because it's some fuck shit. I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, I could see why she is the way that she is. So, and then I also thought of Willa, like Willa would listen to an album like this, because Willa as a character, you know, as a person, she's very like comfortable with her sexuality. She really helps Presley to feel secure too, especially towards the end of the book. Like, guys, oh my gosh, what she tells, you know, Presley too, and even like Bianca as well, you know, and Dex, you know, it's really words of upliftment, you know, of just empowerment and encouragement. And I highly recommend this album. And the reason why this album is controversial to some people is because people are still, and especially in American society, we're not used to women being secure with their sexuality, being comfortable, being sexy, you know, telling a man what they want in the bedroom and stuff like that, you know. And that's what this album really represents. And I see like Willa and Presley like vibes on this album when I was listening to it. But I recommend Dirty, okay, because you know everyone wants to get dirty, okay, with their partner or their man or whatever, okay. But the music video is great. It's like definitely 2000 vibes going on, but highly recommend this album, guys. If you have not listened to it, make it your business to listen to it. It's fabulous. Way better than what was the other album? It was a total failure. It was called Bionic, I think. But it still had that hit song Not Myself Today, which I would also recommend as well, just saying. But I love Christina Aguilera. She's everything. All right, so then another album. Okay, we going old school now. Okay, maybe some of y'all know this artist, maybe some of y'all don't, but her name is Sade. Okay, Sade, guys, is the queen of the sex songs. Okay, her songs are just like, they're like orgasms in your ear. Sade, for her generation, is like one of the key voices, I would say, of her generation. She has this voice that is, it's alto, but it can still be light and airy. And when you listen to Sade, it's not background music. Cause see that's the problem that Sade has had with her career, and I always feel bad for her, is she's known as like the elevator jazz singer. But when you really listen to her music and her work, it's so deeper than that. And I love her, and she looks fabulous, guys. She's in her 60s now. Go look up a picture of Sade. Oh my gosh, her skin, legendary bitch. She's everything. So yeah, this is her debut album. It's called Diamond Life, which I highly recommend, guys. The album is sick. It's super good. This album came out way back in the day, y'all, 1984. But some of the songs that I would recommend off of this album, of course, mega hits, okay? Smooth operator, like, yes, okay. And Your Love Is King, that's my favorite one personally. But also, if you want a little, you know, a little salsa kind of vibes, a little, you know, maraca up in there, Hang On to Your Love is another one, because I was thinking about that with Presley. And and Yak says classic. And Yak also says love her. Yeah, I love her too. Sade is so underrated. But see, a lot of times, like, especially to the young ladies and guys out here, y'all be canceling me because y'all be like, Sade, that is like old people's music. You don't know your music history, guys. Sade is the incumbent, like she is like everything. Okay, before there was contemporary art, like R&B like that, Sade and Anita Baker and a lot of these people laid the foundation down, okay, for your Queen Najas, for your Jacquees. Like those artists would not exist if it was not for Sade and many others, okay? Billy Ocean, get your life, okay? So, but yeah, I love Sade. But yeah, I definitely, you know, when I was thinking about Mr. Stand-In and, you know, just reading the book, because you know what I do, guys, is while I'm reading the book, sometimes a song will just come in my head and then I'll add it to the playlist. So that's like my process in doing it. But yeah, Your Love Is King is everything, okay? But yeah, I was thinking about Hang On to Your Love, because like that's what they have to do, because you know it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet, you know, they're coming from two different worlds and then they're, you know, coming together. Even though, don't